To me, there's nothing better than shooting street photography in Chicago. Well, maybe one thing. And that's shooting street photography in Chicago on a rainy, windy day. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and if it's your first time here, thanks very much for stopping by the channel. And my name is Garrick Gillette, and I shoot any kind of photography here in the Midwest. A lot of landscapes, a lot of street photography in the Chicagoland area, a lot of urban and rural stuff. So if that's something that you're into, then stick around. Speaking of street photography, in today's video, I go into Chicago on election day. I had the day off, so went into Chicago doing some street photography on election day. It was a windy, cold, wet, rainy day, but wet, rainy days make for saturated colors, awesome reflections, and just a great overall day for street photography. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Just like all of our other Chicago photography walks, this one started with a visit to Stan's Do Right Donuts in the basement of the Sears Tower. Don't call it the Willis Tower. And this time I went with the baked, old-fashioned chocolate donut, and it was awesome. On this trip, our mission was to head up to State Street, that great street, and do a little scouting mission for a soon-to-come photo walk for our camera club in Aurora, Illinois. Today I'm shooting with my Nikon D850 and a Sigma 2470 2.8 lens. This image is literally the first image that I took that day. I noticed the gentleman behind the desk inside the building. He was on the phone, and of course someone walks into the frame on the phone. I like the framing around the guy that's inside the building. He's kind of like in a box, in a box, in a box. And then both subjects, background and foreground, are on their phones, which makes an interesting image for me. Almost looks somewhat like they're talking to each other. Walking right by the CBS TV studios, we thought we might be able to get a sneak peek at the weather. The other thing that comes with rain and wind is umbrellas and overcoats and hats and things like that. Just love to shoot those types of things, and this camouflage umbrella definitely caught my eye, and I shot it at 2.8 and really tried to blur out the background, and I like how this one came out, especially in black and white. I don't photograph homeless people all that often, but oh, wait a second, this guy is not homeless. This is my photography buddy, Gary Bonnick. I have a Nikon 85mm like 1.4 lens that I just love for portraits. So I asked Gary to stop for a second so I could shoot his portrait. You can see here in the image that he's really happy to do that for me. I shot this at 1/400th of a second at f1.8, and just look at the beautiful smooth bokeh that you get with this lens. If any of you are out shooting portraits, you need this lens. 85mm 1.4 or maybe 1.8 Nikon lens. Gotta have it. A very popular Chicagoland holiday tradition is to go to Macy's and go to the Walnut Room and have lunch or dinner, or even just stop by and see the decorations. They always go all out with their Christmas tree and holiday decorations. It's just a beautiful, beautiful place to stop. And so we did, and I got this image here. 1/13th of a second, and I was handheld, and I was shooting this at 2.8, so it's the best I could do. It has a little bit of camera shake, but I just love all the reds and just the opening in the middle. It's just kind of a cool image. I framed my subject on this one with the pole from the street lights, and used the bokeh. I shot it at 2.8, obviously to blur out the background, but I blurred it out more in post-processing just to make the subject and foreground stand out a little bit more. Framing of the subject coupled with the bokeh in the back really makes this a much stronger image. I love this composition. The foreground is great. It leads you right into where the subject should be. I love how the two conflicting street lights, you have one red and one that's yellow. I just kind of camped out here and waited for an interesting subject to walk by, and this was the most interesting subject that walked by. Alright, so now we are headed over to Cloud Gate, or most people know it as the Bean, which is one of the most popular tourist attractions in Chicago. So we headed over that way to see what we could find and make some images. This is called Crown Fountain, and it's not too far from the Bean, and it's also where I found probably my favorite photograph from today. Look at these incredible reflections. Alright everybody, hey, hope you enjoyed that trip into Chicago. Got to see the Bean, got to see Macy's, the Walnut Room, the Crown Fountain, and just got some really strong street images in Chicago. So thank you very much for stopping by the channel. I always appreciate it. And you all know the drill. Hey, like it if you did, subscribe if you haven't, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And I am your old buddy Garrick, and I am your very best friend in the whole wide world. So we'll see y'all next time, everybody. Bye-bye.